Hello, my name is Andy and I am the Village Idiot. I'm armed with a car and a GoPro and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. I'm using that time to attempt to visit every civil parish in England. You're watching the Newark and Sherwood series, a district of 84 civil parishes right in the centre of Nottinghamshire. Come with me as we delve into one of them. Welcome back to Newark and Sherwood. Now today I've got a very small village for you, but this place has something very, very large within its parish boundaries, and I'm stood here right in front of it. This is about the only place I can really stand to get a good shot of this power station. And this power station, you will find it on the banks of the River Trent, and it's in Staythorpe. This Newark and Sherwood video is sponsored by Past Days, a family history blog by June Terrington. You'll find a link in the description. Here's my disclaimer for people who may be watching me for the first time. I say things as I would in my native accent and dialect. As a result, I may not pronounce things in the same way as the locals do. Remember, I'm a visitor. It's impossible to know everything. Leave me a comment, spin me a like and bash that subscribe button. Let's get to today's parish video. Today we take on Staythorpe, which is a tiny hamlet just to the southwest of Averham in the Newark and Sherwood district of Nottinghamshire. It was listed in the Domesday Book where it was called Startorp, which translates to mean Stari's village. The settlement is situated 3 miles west of Newark and lies alongside the banks of the River Trent. It's primarily rural in nature with much farmland, but very little in the way of amenities. In medieval times, the land here belonged to the monastery of Newstead, but when King Henry VIII renounced the Catholic Church and dissolved the monasteries, he gave the land to Trinity College, Cambridge. The land is very low-lying and level, varying little in elevation, and it's used primarily for farming, although Staythorpe does have a huge landmark which is impossible to miss. In 1946, a large area of land was sold to the Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire Electric Power Company for the building of a power station, which was put into service in March of 1950. It still exists today, although the modern-day power plant isn't the original, with the modern plant named Stathop C opening in 2010. There are 3 distinct areas within the village. There's the historic village area by Pingley Lane, there's Behay Gardens, which was built for a very different purpose, and the gated Hughes Close community. It all sits to the northwest of the River Trent. Let's see what else we can find here. We start our journey around Staythorpe where we left off in Averham. We're on the Trent Valley Way, which runs down the bank of the River Trent, and we're right next to Staythorpe Power Station. This is easily the largest landmark here. Staythorpe Power Station is a £650 million, 1,735 megawatt gas-fired power station owned by RWE npower, who took over from Alstom Power in December of 2010. By rights, its actual name is Stathop C. Sited next to the Trent, this is the second largest combined cycle gas turbine power station in the UK. It has an overall efficiency in excess of 58%. Stathop C was built on the site of 2 former coal-fired power stations, the 360 megawatt Stathop A, which was originally authorised in 1946, and the 360 megawatt Stathop B, commissioned in May 1962. Planning permission was given for the gas-fired power station as early as 1993, but Stathop C was not completed until 2009. So make no mistake about it, Staythorpe Power Station is quite an impressive structure, and this footpath which runs alongside it means you can get right up close and personal to it, and you also get a lovely view of the River Trent on the other side. So you've got beauty of nature on one side and industrialism on the other side. Staythorpe is not all about the power station. There is a village to see here too. Our walk will head for it once we've left the Trent behind. The marina at Farndon, by the way, mentioned last week, is not far away here. As we make our way to the village, we pass one of Stathop C's gas turbines. Electricity here is generated using hydrogen-cooled generators, and it supplies an estimated 2 million homes. There is a proposal for something called a Battery Energy Storage System, or BESS for short, to be implemented at Staythorpe. If approved, it would be built next to Stathop Substation, slightly to the north. The proposed storage system at Staythorpe would be utilised primarily to provide reliable power during peak demand periods and would have the capacity to store at least 400 megawatt hours of energy. The footpath towards the village has now reached a road. This is an access road to the power station, and running alongside it there's the Nottingham to Lincoln railway line, which we have to cross. Right, time to cross another railway line. We've done this before. For this one, it's a bit different though. There are no traffic lights like we used to, so across we go as quick as possible. A train has just come past, so I suppose that's a bonus. Another one's not going to follow quickly, is it? There we go, we're over the line. Now we're heading for the village itself, which is very small. On the other side of the line there was a barrel which had a sign on it saying "Say no to Staythorpe BESS." Local residents were invited on June the 30th this year to have their say on the new system, a meeting which took place in the Robin Hood Theatre at Averham. Now we're in Staythorpe itself. This is much less a village and more of a very small hamlet. Regardless, there's now a card on that notice board. A very linear village, Staythorpe's main road is Pingley Lane. There's one Grade 2 listed building, the Manor House, based in the core village area. It dates from the end of the 18th century. Staythorpe has 13 cottages known as Behay Gardens, which were built for power station staff. They were designed by local architect Thomas Cecil Howitt and have now been sold off to the public. So Staythorpe village is very, very small. It's basically just one long road with a few bits coming off either side of it. And really all I'm going to do here is walk up this lane to the end, turn around and come back again, and then head back towards Averham, which is where I parked the car. The population of Staythorpe is exceptionally small, much less than 100. Administratively, Staythorpe is grouped together to form one parish council with Averham and Kelham. There aren't really any local amenities. That said, it does still have a post box, so that's one thing. There are no shops, nor is there a post office. Its nearest railway station is 1 mile away in Rolleston. You can, however, catch a bus out here. The 28, which runs through Averham, stops here, and there are 2 stops as well. There's a second one at Behay Gardens, which is to the south. We, however, are heading north and back to Averham. In doing so, we pass the entrance to Stathop Substation, which almost covers the same amount of land as the power station does. To finish with, we cross Pingley Dyke. This runs into Rundle Dyke before eventually flowing out into the Trent. Both streams cross the parish, and with that, we're back into Averham. And that, my friends, is Staythorpe. I'm now on the boundary between Staythorpe and Averham again, which is here on this little cul-de-sac at the very southern edge of Averham village. And there you go, that's Averham and Staythorpe. 2 episodes for 2 very beautiful villages here in Newark and Sherwood. Staythorpe's not going to get a picture bit, it's far too small. I really don't know what else I would include in it, to be honest with you. So it's time for me to move on to my next one here in Newark and Sherwood, which has something which is quite large, a very, very big landmark right in the centre of it. You'll find out where that is next week. I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiot. This has been the Parish of Staythorpe, and I'm out.